Vitam Sundaram Mande Vishwa Gununcha Divya Bhagavad Premno Hibij Pradam Devam Divyatanum Suchandravadanam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandranandapuram Sadekavarnam Vairagyadyam Buddhim Shri Siddhantanidhim Subhaktilasitam Sarasatanam Maram Panditam Shubhadam Madeka Sharanam Nasiswaram Śrīdharam Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Tividito Gauriya Gurvanvaye Bhata Bhanuriva Prabhat Gagane Gaura Sankirtanay Maya Adatimingilo Daragatan Udhrit Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabdigahan Sukham Pradat Prabhum Tam Bhaje Namo Gaura Kishoraya Bhakta Vadhuta Murtaye Gaurang Padma Bhrangaya Radha Bhav Nishevane Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Sarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radharasa Sudhanadam Gaura Rajashita Sheshaira Vaishnavaira Vanda Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhum Vande Premabdham Vriddha Vaishnavam Vancha Kalpataru Bhaischa Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavtaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Namo Mahavadannaye Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Tushe Namah Sashtang Dandat Pranam to all the exalted Vaishnavas, devotees, servitors, serving selflessly at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev and Param Guru Maharaj, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math worldwide. To our friends and well-wishers and also sincere seekers, our obeisances, namaskar, pranam, and welcome to our Friday evening Sangha. Dandat Pranam and welcome Shripad Arun Krishna Prabhu.
Dandavat Prabhu, happy to be having your association.
Hare Krishna. Likewise Prabhu, your blessings are very, very precious. So we will continue our reading of the Golden Staircase. We're on page, let's see here. And Arun Prabhu, I provided a link also in the invite, so you should have that. Yeah. So page 50, this is the publication. And we'll just pick it up from page 50. This is Param Guru Maharaj. Mahaprabhu took sannyas. Sankaracharya, Ramanuja, all the pioneers of the various sampradayas took sannyas. That has been interpreted as karma sannyas, but still sannyas is of several kinds. There is also Vidvat sannyas, which is considered by the salvationist section to be the highest. Their idea is that when one has fully realized that his connection with this material realm is a negative one, he will finish his material encasement and enter into the spiritual sphere. When he is fully established in this firm consciousness that my connection with the material world will be injurious to me, he will then relinquish his body and go away to the spiritual sky. That is Vidvat Sannyas. There is also Narottam Sannyas. Yas Swakat Parato Veh Jat Nirveda Atmavan Hriday Kritva Harim Geyat Pravrajeta Sa Narottama. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Narottam system of sannyas, one has realized the presence or existence of God within his heart and thinking of him. Sorry for the interruption, Arun Prabhu. I just got a message from Anilji. He's trying to join, but he's not able to join.
I don't have the capability.
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
You want me to? I can log out and try to log in again to see.
Oh, no, hold on. Let me see here. Anil,
Sure.
just give me a second. I want to help him out. Anil ji, how do I do this? Well, it just shows your participants. Local meeting, no. Share invite. Copy meeting link. Okay. I've copied the meeting link. Now.
ये URL लिंक वो प्रॉपर्ली यूज कर रहे हैं कि नहीं है, क्योंकि वो URL लिंक पिछले हफ्ते की होगी तो नहीं चलेगी.
I think so. I'm just gonna send him like a quick link. Anil at Gmail.
मैं कॉल करता हूँ उनको.
I've just emailed him the link, this link right now.
Okay.
Again, so I've emailed it to him. Okay. आप अपना म्यूट कर लीजिएगा. So I'll continue. This is back to Param Guru Maharaj. In the Narottam system of sannyas, one has realized the presence or existence of God within his heart. And thinking of him, he leaves his present engagement and duties of the household and remains outside, anywhere and everywhere, under a tree or in a cave or wherever, careless of his physical needs. He does not immediately relinquish his body. But he takes whatever food he gets, and when he does not get any food, he fasts. And in this way, he goes on. He leaves the household for good. That is Narottam Sannyas. I want to pause here. And there are also different stages of sannyas mentioned in the Shastra. Kutichaka, Bahudaka, Hamsa, and Paramhansa, progressively. But Tridanda sannyas is where the sannyasi engages himself fully in the service of Godhead by spreading his messages and doing some good to the public. And that characteristic is different. It is categorically different The Tridandi sannyasi is not adopting an attitude or tactic of leaving all the engagements of this world as a result of becoming disgusted with its many temptations. Rather, he is engaging himself in the higher duty of the upper world through an agent, so his body has got utility. Remaining here, maintaining connection here, he is drawing some higher thing from above and distributing that in the environment. That is another conception of sannyas, and it has positive value. This is a similar engagement to that performed by the Lord's closest associates. When an incarnation of God comes down, his favorite parshads, his friends and servitors, are also sent by him to come down to do some service to help him. There are also sub-agents who have received some engagement from the There are also sub-agents who have received some engagement from the higher agent. Dandavat Pranam. Chinmay Prabhu, welcome.
Dandavat Pranam. Please excuse my lateness.
And by moving within this world in that capacity, they can earn more spiritual wealth than those who are very eager to disconnect completely from this material plane. They want to try to utilize their connection with this mundane plane to earn some substantial wealth of the upper house. So like the Lord's Parshads, the Tridandi sannyasis want to work as God's agents.
Prabhuji, this is wonderful because I never thought of this question, and I'm so low in the totem pole in understanding. Very, very important question. What is sannyas, and then what is the Śrīdhar sannyas, and then how is that related to instructions of Srimad Mahaprabhu and his mission? This is so enlightening.
Correct. So Yukta Vairagya, as Guru Maharaj is explaining, that not entirely giving out of disgust or out of any other reason, just giving wholesale, just giving it up. It is all about being able to utilize, and those who can, those who are fortunate, then they come to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and specifically Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, our line. So they're very exalted, all the sannyasis, very exalted. What can be said? The next section is the glory of the divine feminine nature. Devotee. Maharaj, we know the injunctions forbidding sannyas and brahmacharis specifically from mixing with ladies, but what should be the general overall vision of the male section of devotees as we are serving Mahaprabhu's mission together with our god sisters? Srila Śrīdhar Maharaj. According to the Varnashram system, generally the Sudras, laboring class, and ladies are not allowed direct participation in the higher religious functions. Only indirect participation is allowed for them. And they also do not get the sacred thread. Yet a Brahman boy can be found touching the feet of his mother. The mother will not touch the deity of Narayan, but her son who is worshipping Narayan is touching her feet and taking her feet dust. Such a position is there in the Varnashram system. Women are generally considered unfit or below the standard of engaging in direct service to the Lord. But in the Vaishnava conception, there is no such strictness about that. In my youth, some sort of disregard grew in my mind about the lady section. I must keep far away from them. They are untouchable. But that notion was amended by my aunt in this way. She noted my nature, my conduct, and once affectionately remarked to me, "Oh, don't you know that ladies represent Lakshmi Devi? They belong to the same section, and in them the qualities of sacrifice and submission are very clearly visible. So they should be respected. They should be respected, and the aggressive male nature is to be viewed unfavorably." The feminine ego conception is an ideal of a very noble type wherein sacrifice, the devotional aspect, is very prominent. Ladies are not aggressors, they are sacrifice personified, whereas the male nature, that is aggressive.
Prabhuji, the last 4 lines are so important. And we have heard it from high Vaishnavas, from blessed family members. This is how it needs to be understood. And then now Guru Varg and Guru Dev have said, what is the intrinsic position of the Jivatma? And that is really, this is the mode. How I at this time, coming to the mud, how I feel that the ladies are so blessed because they have this characteristic that is very hard for males to develop. And that really is the true natural characteristic that the Jivatma has, and the males are averse to it because of so many reasons. So we need to constantly remind ourselves that our life has to be that based on real practicing sacrifice, practicing devotional service. That is the root. And the ladies naturally have that, and that is a very, very blessed position for any Jivatma.
So yeah, thank you. I totally agree with that, Arun Prabhu. Again, there are so many misconceptions, and you and I, we've both grown up in India, and I've met Westerners. They've also have various prejudices and things of that nature, but there's this general feeling that women are somehow inferior. I have no shame in admitting that when I was growing up, there was. But that's misconception. That is, one doesn't find any real evidence of that as divine sanction that yes, you can treat them as such and such. And the thing to notice here is that it says the glory of the divine feminine nature. So people confuse with form and nature, form and substance. Feminine nature, intrinsic to the divine feminine nature, is the propensity and ability to completely surrender. That's the fundamental attribute, and that's the ornament of the divine feminine nature. That level of deep surrender is not found in the male ego. It's actually quite the opposite. And the aggressive nature, natural aggressive nature of the male ego is based on exploitation. So when we say divine feminine form, yes, we will find on this plane in abundance. But divine feminine nature is not the same as divine feminine form. Please think about that.
Perfectly right, Prabhu. If I may just add that when I used to be in India growing up, then I saw so much of feminine nature. But as time has passed, every decade and so on, influence and the karmas, I see a lot of feminines, but not the feminine nature, even in India. Good to speak of outside India.
All right. So Guru Maharaj is giving us that insight. And then of course, from the external perspective about to answer the devotee's question of certain basic etiquettes that need to be followed, he's answering from the Varnashram. Okay. Back to Param Guru Maharaj. Gradually, that idea came to me, and I learned to appreciate Sita, Draupadi, and so many others, especially the supreme example shown by the gopis. The standard established by the gopis has shown that self-forgetfulness, self-sacrifice, and self-surrendering reaches its zenith. Its highest conception in the lady aspect. The passive aspect holds the highest position. That viewpoint came gradually and caused a turnabout within my mind. Madhur Rasa, consorthood, is the highest position, and within Srimati Radharani we find the greatest degree of sacrifice and affection. The males are the aggressors. They are responsible for all the difficulties and troubles, not the ladies. That we possess the aggressive nature of a male is the disease in us. Gradually that perception developed from inside, and ultimately I found that when the female nature is pure and in connection with the supreme Leela of Vatsalya Rasa and Madhurya Rasa, it holds the highest position in the topmost realm. And our aspiration is for engagement in the service of Srimati Radharani. The position of Sri Radha is that of the highest service to Krishna. And Radha Dasyam has been considered by Mahaprabhu to be the highest attainment. Vasudev Ghosh says, Yadi Gaurana Hita Tave Kyahita Kevane Dharitamade Radhara Mahima Prema Rasa Sima Jagate Janatike. Who could disclose this holy, divine, fact, if Sri Gauranga did not personally appear on this earth, who could let us know, who could inform us that the highest servitor is Radharani? But Gauranga did come, and he clearly showed that the highest conception of service is to be engaged in the service of that highest negative potency. Jai Om Vishnupad, Śrīla Bhakti Rakṣhak Śrīdhar Dev-Goswamī Maharāj ki jai. So this ends the golden staircase. So with your blessings, encouragement and support, we have concluded the reading today. My sincere dandavats to the panel. And we have already identified the next by Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, which is, we are going to be doing Religion of the Heart. So that we will start from our next session and continue with our readings. Any reflections or any comments, please go ahead while I go and look for some help around here.
Prabhuji, now today, now I understand to a deeper level now what our senior Vaishnavas talk about. That aversion, that second interest is really when the living entity wants to wear that positive. They want to compete with Krishna. And that is where this aggressiveness of called, or that comes about. So, though the intrinsic position is opposite, that the Tiya Nibhesh is really coming from that desire. And truly our highest fortune is in our intrinsic position. And initially I used to think with some confusion on this when the Guru Varg or the senior devotees talk about, we want to be attracted to the highly negative. But this last chapter has dispelled all my misconceptions. It's not about positive and negative. It is about one mood versus another mood, or one nature versus another nature. We are intrinsically of a different nature. And you want to call that nature as positive or negative, doesn't matter. What matters is this nature is intrinsic to our Aradhya, which is Srimati Radharani. And it is opposite to, and this nature that is the opposite of whatever positive or negative we say is the Aradhya of Srimati Radharani. Now I better understand and fully appreciate when the negative potency is talked about. It's not about the conventional meaning of negative.
Correct, yes.
Yes.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudanam
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra
Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath
Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath
Ichhai Gosai Kori Charana Vandan
He Chai Gosai Kori Charana Vandanam
Hoite Vignana Shabdishta Puran
Jaha Hoite Vidana Shabhrishta Puran
Ichhai Gosai Jar Mui Tarandas
He Chai Gosai Jar Mui Paradas
Tansavara Padarenu Mora Panchagras
Asabara Padarenu Mora Panchagras
Tandera Charana Se Vivakta Sane Bas
Nandira Charana Sevi Bhakta Sane Bas
Jana me Mora Abhilash
Janame Mora He Abhilash
Ichhai Gosai Jabe Braja Koila Bas
He Chai Gosai Jabe Braje Koila Bas
Shri Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash
Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash
Anande Bolo Hare Bhaja Vrindavan
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas
Hari Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narottama Das
Hari Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narottama Das
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Hari Bol
Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol
Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Jai Gauranga Sundar Jai Gauranga Sundar Jai Gauranga Sundar Jai Gauranga Sundar
Jai Gauranga Sundar Jai Gauranga Sundar Jai Gauranga
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य वर्य स्तोत्रस्त श्रीमद शिला भक्ति सुंदर गोविंद देव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय।
जय
जय ओम विष्णुपाद शिला भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर देव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय।
जय
जय भगवान शिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर की जय।
जय
विश्ववरेण्य शिला एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
जय श्री चैतन्य सारस्वत मठ आचार्य वृंद की जय।
जय
जय शिला भक्ति पावन जनार्दन महाराज की जय।
जय
शिला भक्ति निर्मल आचार्य महाराज की जय।
जय
जय शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
जय
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय
सपार्षद नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय।
जय
सपार्षद श्रीमन महाप्रभु की जय।
जय
रूप गुरु वर्ग की जय।
जय
श्री एकादशी व्रत की जय।
जय
श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय।
जय
our divine panelists Sripad Arun Krishna Prabhu की जय। Sripad Chinmay Dev Prabhu की जय।
जय
Our divine guest Nandrani Didi की जय।
जय
Our divine guests from Facebook की जय।
जय
Madhav Prabhu की जय।
जय
Deepta Krishna Prabhu की जय।
जय
Ranga Devi Dasi की जय।
जय
And everyone else who is watching and will watch and have watched, sab ki jai।
जय
निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
हरि हरि बोल। श्रीपद जयराम प्रभु की जय। आभा दीदी की जय। अमानिका दीदी प्रभु की जय। All the devotees की जय।
जय।